You know that moment when you're driving between jobs, no podcast, no music, just you and the road,
Oh, yeah. The open road.
and then suddenly, bam! The solution to that scheduling nightmare you've been wrestling with for weeks just hits you?
And tonight, it just hit me.
Or maybe you're in the shower, not thinking about anything in particular,
Can't fight this feeling anymore.
and you finally figure out how to handle that difficult client situation that's been eating at you and your spouse for days.
Eureka!
That's not a coincidence. That's your brain doing what it does best when you finally give it permission to breathe. And today we're diving into why the most productive thing you can do for your contracting business might be absolutely nothing at all. Welcome back to Built for Two, CEO Edition. Well, hey there, I'm Kimberly Ferguson. And if you're a husband-wife team running a contracting business, well, this episode might just change how you think about downtime forever.
Forever and ever.
Something that most contractor couples don't realize, your brain has two modes.
Two?
So there's the focus mode. That's where you're actively problem solving, managing crews, dealing with clients, putting out all the fires.
Put it out!
And then there's what neuroscientists call the default mode network. The default mode network is what kicks in when you're not actively focused on anything specific.
Space out.
And the real kicker, this is where your most creative, strategic thinking actually happens.
Who's got time?
But here's the problem. Most of us are so addicted to stimulation, scrolling on our phones, listening to podcasts, checking emails, we never actually let our brains enter into this default mode.
Overstimulation calms me.
We're constantly feeding our minds input, but we're starving them of processing time. Think about it. When was the last time you sat somewhere for 10 minutes without your phone, even 5 minutes, without a task, without any input at all?
It's been 84 years.
If you're like most business owners, you probably can't remember the last time that happened. And that might be costing you the breakthrough ideas your business desperately needs.
I am never going to financially recover from this.
So let's talk about what's actually happening in your brain when you're bored. Because this isn't just feel-good advice. This is hard science.
It's basic time science.
Dr. Marcus Rachel at Washington University discovered something fascinating.
Go on.
When people aren't actively focused on a task, their brains don't just shut down. Instead, a specific network of brain regions becomes more active. He called it the default mode network.
It's your default setting.
So this network includes areas that are responsible for self-referential thinking, memory consolidation, future planning, creative insight, problem solving. But here's where it gets really interesting. Research from Dr. Mary Helen Imordino Yang at USC found that this default mode network is actually crucial for what she calls constructive internal reflection.
What does that even mean?
In simple terms, this is when your brain takes all of the information that you've been absorbing, like client feedback, project challenges, team dynamics, financial pressures, and it starts connecting the dots that you couldn't see when you were actively trying to solve the problem.
Now it all makes sense.
One study had participants work on creative problems. Then they either take a break doing a demanding task, an easy task, or they rest completely.
Let me guess.
And you guessed it, that rest group, they had a 41% improvement on creative problem solving compared to the other ones. 41%.
41.
That's like getting an extra day of productivity just by doing absolutely nothing.
The less you do, the more you do.
Now, you're probably thinking, Kimberly, that sounds all fine and dandy, but we don't have time to just sit around and be bored. We've got crews to manage, clients to keep happy, bills to pay.
You read my mind.
I get it. I really do. But here's what I want you to consider. You're not too busy to be bored. You're too busy because you're not allowing yourself to be bored.
I wouldn't be bored. Why would I be bored?
Let me explain. When you're constantly in reactive mode, answering every text immediately, jumping from task to task, never giving your brain space to process, you're operating from your prefrontal cortex's executive function. That's great for immediate problem solving, but terrible for strategic thinking. Your default mode network is where you see patterns across projects, anticipate problems before they become crisis, come up with innovative solutions to recurring challenges, and process the emotional stress of running a business with your spouse.
Wow, you're a lot smarter than I thought.
But if you never access this mode, well, you're essentially running your business on one cylinder when you could be running it on 8.
Let me assure you, Dwight is firing on all cylinders, right?
I worked with a contractor couple last year who were constantly overwhelmed. Every day they felt like crisis management. They were working 60+ hour weeks and still felt behind. And the breakthrough came when they started taking what I call thinking drives.
I need to think.
These can be as little as 15 minutes in the truck between job sites with no phone, no radio, just silence. Within this time, they figured out how to restructure their entire scheduling system, improve their client communication process, and created a list of tasks to delegate that they'd been doing themselves for years. The idea didn't come during their planning meetings. They came during those quiet moments when their brains finally had space to breathe.
We can see clearly now, the rain has gone. We can see all obstacles in our way.
So, how do you actually harness the power of boredom in your contracting business? Well, here are 5 strategies that work specifically for husband and wife teams.
Didn't you say 5?
So, strategy number 1 is the morning quiet. Before you check your phone, before you review your day's schedule, spend 10 minutes just sitting. No agenda, no goals, just quiet. This primes your default mode network for the day ahead.
Meditate.
Me? Meditate?
So strategy number 2 is the transition ritual. So between job sites, instead of immediately calling each other or checking messages, take 5 minutes of silence in the truck. Let your brain process what just happened before moving on to the next thing.
I just need to process this.
Strategy number 3 is the weekly wander. So once a week, take a walk together. No phones, no business talk allowed for the first 15 minutes. Just walk. You'll be amazed at what bubbles up.
Come, let's go for a stroll.
Strategy number 4 is the shower solution. This one's free. Just notice how often your best ideas come in the shower. That's your default mode network at work. Don't dismiss these insights as random thoughts. Maybe even consider keeping a notebook next to your shower so you can jot down all those brilliant ideas before you forget them.
The idea just came to me in the shower.
And strategy number 5 is the boredom buffer. So build 15-minute buffers into your schedule between major tasks. Not for catching up on emails or making calls, but for literally doing nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Now here's the key for couples. You don't both need to be bored at the same time. In fact, I say it's better if you stagger it. So when one of you is in default mode, the other can handle immediate needs. Then switch.
I will divide and conquer.
I know what some of you are probably thinking. This pretty much just sounds like an excuse to be lazy. But here's the difference between being lazy and being strategically bored. Lazy is avoiding work because you don't want to do it. Strategic boredom is creating space for your brain to do its most important work. The work that only happens when you're not trying to force it.
Think.
Or maybe you're thinking, my clients expect me to be available 24/7. So consider this if you dare. Would your clients rather have a contractor who's always available but constantly reactive, or one who's thoughtful, proactive, and comes up with solutions that they didn't even know they needed?
Repeat that one, please.
The most successful contractor couples that I work with aren't the ones who work the most hours. They're the ones who work the smartest hours.
Smart.
And smart work requires a brain that's had time to process, connect, and create.
Human brain needs rest.
So here's what this really comes down to. In a world that's constantly demanding your attention, the ability to be bored, to just sit with your thoughts without immediately reaching for distraction, is becoming a superpower, truly. Your competitors are probably scrolling social media between jobs, listening to podcasts during every drive, filling every quiet moment with input. But you're giving your brain the space it needs to see opportunities that they're missing.
Kind of sees like 10 steps ahead.
This isn't just about business strategy either. It's about your relationship too. When you're both constantly stimulated, constantly busy, constantly on, you lose the ability to just be together. Some of the best conversations, the deepest connections, happen in those quiet moments when neither of you is trying to accomplish anything.
But I forgot what it feels like.
And your mental health? Boredom is like meditation without the pressure. It's your brain's natural reset button. In an industry as stressful as construction, that reset isn't luxury. It's essential.
Essential.
So here's your challenge. For the next week, that's 7 days, I want you to experiment with strategic boredom. Pick one out of the 5 strategies I mentioned and commit to it. It's just 7 days. Now, don't expect immediate results. Your brain might try to resist at first. It is used to constant stimulation at this point. But stick with it. Notice what thoughts come up. Notice what solutions emerge. Notice how it affects your stress levels and your relationship with your spouse. And here's the thing. If you're ready to take your contracting business to the next level, if you want to move from constantly reacting to strategically leading, you need more than just quiet moments. You need a complete financial and operational strategy. And that's exactly what we help contractor couples build in our CFO advisory. We help you create the systems, the clarity, and the strategic thinking that turns your business from a job that you own into a company that works for you. If you're ready to stop working in your business and start working on your business, use the link below and schedule a call with our team.
Click, damn it, click!
And most importantly, if you still think I need to be available 24/7 for my clients, don't think. Just click the link and schedule your call now. Seriously, pause the video. Do it now.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
This has been Built for Two, where systems keep your business steady, strategy helps it grow, and building it with your soulmate makes the whole adventure worth it. I hope this episode reminds you and your spouse that your most powerful business tool isn't your phone, it's not your truck, or even your skills. It's your ability to think clearly and strategically. And that only happens when you give your mind the space it needs to do its best work. The breakthrough you've been searching for might not be in the next task on your list. It might be waiting in the next quiet moment that you allow yourself to have. I'll see you in my next video.